Hi and welcome to Let's Talk. My name's Claire at Dundee Carers Centre and today I'm joined by Tom and Adele, who are part of the Groupwork Team at Dundee Carers Centre. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming along today. Now, I just thought it would be good to get you guys along just to kind of tell us a bit more about group work and what it's all about. So can we start off with that then, Tom? Could you tell us a bit more about group work, please?
Yeah, so basically the Groupwork Programme is just a chance for carers to get together and sort of just share their knowledge and a wee bit of peer support as well. So basically we're classed as workers, but we're really just there to help facilitate it. The carers do most of the work themselves. They've got a vast knowledge and it's just making them sort of appreciate and realise how much they already know. So they sort of get together, decide what they want to know more about, and then between them, we hope that they can find some sort of answer to their questions. If it gets to something a bit more complicated and they need some more help, we would then source some guest speakers from different organisations to come in and sort of help discuss the issues as well with them and see what can be done together.
Well, that sounds good. So could you give us some examples of some topics that have been covered recently then in previous sessions?
Yeah, so we've looked at quite a few things. The common themes seem to be carers' rights. Okay. A lot of carers don't realise they have rights and how to access them. We've looked at money and benefits, what their options are. We've looked at support out there in the community, whether for themselves or for the person they're supporting. Okay. We've looked at sort of coping techniques. We've looked at money-saving tips. Anything you can think of, Adele?
Well, to touch on what you were saying about getting guest speakers in, power of attorney and guardianship was really popular.
Yeah.
Preparing for the future. So maybe looking parents or who have disabled children have been wondering how they could prepare for their child's financial future when they're no longer there to deal with that. So that's more issues that have been of interest. And
transitions have been a big one, isn't it? The parent carers who you've been working with have been a popular one as well.
Yeah, school transitions, and we've also recently started working with carers supporting people with mental health issues.
Okay.
So I think getting to know what's available locally to support themselves and the person they care for. What we have found is that while the groups are for the carers, the first thing the carer asks is what's available for the person I care for.
Okay.
So that's a really common topic, isn't it?
But it does work quite well because, yes, it shows how carers are always thinking of others before themselves, which I appreciate and know. Yeah. But it also means if they can get some sort of support for the cared for person, it means they might then have a couple hours a week to do something for themselves, which is also quite a rare thing for them. Yeah. So, I enjoy the group work quite a bit because every group's different. We don't sort of dictate what they want to know about, they tell us and we sort of help source it for them. But to be honest, majority of it is them. They do all the work themselves. And so it's really good to see that. I think it helps them realise how much knowledge they actually have without realising it. And it's, so I think it's definitely worth doing.
Yeah, it sounds great. And like you say, carers are full of this knowledge and full of the information that other people might need to know as well. So it's sharing that knowledge between each other as well, isn't it? And kind of that's where the group comes together to provide each other with all that different kinds of support as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. The way I look at it is we're classed as full-time workers, which is 36 hours a week, where carers are full-time workers. It's 24/7. They're going to know a lot more than we'll ever learn in our lifetime working because they live and breathe it. They know, so it's really important, I think, for them to realise that and how much they actually do.
Definitely.
That's where group work really comes into its own as well. Like Tom says, we have some understanding, but we don't have a lived experience understanding. And for carers to come together in a welcoming environment, obviously, and it's confidential, everything stays within the room, then they're able to speak to people that have lived experience, and often they're able to share strategies and techniques that somebody's not tried, or sometimes it's just nice for them to hear others saying, you've tried everything you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more relevant coming from another carer than coming from a member of staff.
Definitely. And I think even people just having that, hearing from somebody else that they're in the same situation, they're in the same shoes as them, that could just be, oh God, really, it's good to hear that I'm not in this by myself. There's other people going through this as well, and then working together to try and get a bit of an outcome for everybody, which is what people want, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the groups themselves then, do they come together in a certain number of people in the group, or what is the setup when it comes to the group work sessions?
Well, we're quite flexible about everything, but the whole point of the group is for the carers to come together.
Okay.
So for anybody involved in the group to get the best results, we need carers, obviously. There's no point in 1-2 carers coming to speak to me or Tom. So we try to ensure there's 8 carers in a group. It runs for up to 6 weeks, and the carers choose the topics of what will be discussed, because it's important that they make all the choices. Yeah. I keep saying that Tom and I are just secretaries. I don't know how he feels about that, but we just make things happen. The carers tell us what's to happen, and we help them make that happen. But we also show them what we've done so that they're able to do it afterwards. Because the course is only 6 weeks.
Okay.
It's not about, it's about increasing the person's confidence as well. I think sometimes carers have had to deal with so much, their confidence has maybe been knocked out, and they're not realising what they're dealing with and how well they're dealing with it. Whereas in a group, they start to recognise that again and get a bit more confidence for going forward.
That's good.
And also, again, when it comes to timings of these groups, venues, it's up to the carers as well. They tell us what they want, what works for them. Because if they work, we're happy to do an evening one. If they'd rather do it in the day or the morning, we can do it then. If they're all based in the same locality, we'll make sure it's in that locality so it makes it easier for them to get to. We also, some people prefer having like a group, say they're all parent carers, they're all in the same situation, we'll accommodate that. If they'd rather have a mix where it's all completely different circumstances, we'll have to do that as well. Some prefer either or. So again, we just listen to the carers. You tell us what you want and we'll sort of make sure it happens. We try and make it as easy and as accessible as possible for them.
That sounds great. That sounds good, because not everybody can come along to one place, and I think over the past few years things have shifted so much, haven't they? There would need to be more accommodating for people to take things out to the communities, like you say. So that's good. There's lots of different options then for people then to join in.
I mean, from the start of our project, things have changed, as in the number of weeks, where it's held, etc. But that's all based on the carers that have been part of the project. Okay. They've told us what's worked for them, so we keep doing that. And they've told us what they would have liked done differently, so we've started to offer that as well. Like obviously during the pandemic, we started to offer online. Yeah. So it's just we're trying to be as flexible as we can, so as many carers as want to be involved have the opportunity to be involved.
Good. It sounds great, and I know you've touched on this already, Adele. You mentioned some benefits, obviously the boosting confidence and that, but is there any other benefits that have came out of the previous sessions you've seen through the carers?
Loads.
Yeah. Absolutely
loads. It's amazing.
I think peer support's a big one, isn't it? Increased knowledge, confidence. I think as well, a lot of carers, as you know, because they're so busy, they struggle to make time for themselves. So a lot of them can use this group work as an idea of actually, I've managed to give myself 2 hours a week, come to this group. So once this group's end, I might keep that 2 hours to myself and do it for something productive or fun to give me a break. So that's been good to see.
lots of people have gone on to volunteer with us
Yeah.
or other organisations.
Good.
So some people that have been part of the group work are now co-facilitating groups alongside
Oh,
us,
amazing.
which is really relevant for the carers as well, because some carers are coming to the group in quite a difficult situation, feeling very isolated.
Mm-hmm.
And then they realise that the person that's facilitating the group is actually a carer who started in the same position. There's also accreditation opportunities.
Yeah, so people will, again, this is purely optional, but some people, carers have chosen to do what's called an Adult Achievement Award during the programme. So basically, it's just a document you can fill in reflecting on what you've learned over the past year. So people have used it on what they've learned in the group work programme or what they've learned through the care in general over the past year. And through that, I know a couple have now signed up to start uni this year.
Oh, amazing. That's great.
A couple have started either full-time or part-time work from group work. So it's been really good to see as well.
Very good.
But I must say, this all sounds very formal. The groups are very informal though.
Yeah.
It is, if say one day we meet up and the carers have had a bad day or a bad week, they just want to have a day of just chatting and a cup of tea and to get out of the system and have a wee rant if they need it. We can then scrap all the plans for today and just have that conversation if that's what they need. It's again, it's purely up to them. It's whatever makes it easier for themselves.
So the groups run around the needs of the carers, isn't it?
The carers do set their goals.
Yeah.
You know, what it is that they would like to achieve by the end of the 6 weeks, whether it's learn more about transition, learn more about local support, whatever it is. And we plan with the carers how that's going to happen. But, you know, life gets in the way sometimes. And we totally go with that. If the carers tell us, actually, that's not a priority anymore, then that's fine. We'll focus on what's a priority for them.
Good. Sounds good. Sounds great. It really does. It sounds like a really good, like you say, a peer support network of people coming together to talk about topics and that are obviously important to them, and they want to obviously find out more about where to go with that. So it does sound like a great programme. Do you have any programmes coming up in the near future that people can know about?
There'll be one starting on Thursday, the 20th of April at the Carers Centre. Now that's a twilight session, so it starts at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and that's come about because people that were interested said, but I work.
Right.
So like, right, okay, well, we'll do it at night then. So that's one that's coming up shortly. And
So we should also say that, so we do two projects. So the group work programme is the 6-week programme we do, and we also do bite-sized sessions.
Okay.
So for people that either can't commit to 6 weeks or just want to get in and out and learn one particular topic, we do a one-off session on common themes. And currently I am looking at having one at the end of April with a woman from Enable doing a talk on job opportunities for parent carers.
Okay.
And I'm also looking at, in May, working with someone from SCARF who's going to talk about what support they can give regarding energy advice.
Right, okay, that sounds
so
good.
Hopefully by the time this video comes out, I'll have dates and times, so hopefully I can maybe put it somewhere when you're watching this video underneath.
Great. All the information regarding group work programmes and bite size will be available on your webpage, and all full details will be below in the comments section. So if anybody wants to find out more, they can visit the website or our social media channels, or they can get in touch with you guys. There'll be emails and contact numbers and that below if anybody does want to find out a bit more about what's coming up in the near future with group work. Yeah.
Could I just jump in with something before we finish?
Of course.
Again, adding to what Tom was saying about the one-off sessions, there's one on the 16th of May with Thornton solicitors, and they're going to be talking about preparing for the future for disabled children, etc. So parents could come along to that if they want. There'll be information coming out shortly.
And that's a bite-sized one again, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And the bite sizes then, are they in person as well? Are they held in person, or how do they run?
Again, we're flexible. Currently, they've been held online.
Okay.
There is the opportunity for the carers to come together into a room, and we bring in the speakers remotely, because you'll appreciate the speakers if they've got travel time included.
Yes.
Some may be in Glasgow, Edinburgh, etc. But if the carers aren't happy using it online, then we could arrange an in-person one, and then we would deal with the technology issue of bringing in a speaker.
And again, if people cannot make any of these bite sizes, but they really want to gather some information, they're welcome to pass on any questions they've got to us, and we can ask for them and then feedback what they say as well.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Again, very accommodating, isn't it? It's such a great programme where people can access any way they feel fit to do so, or even just like you say, Tom, putting a question across and then you'll get back to them when you've got the answer, I suppose. So, yeah. Well, it all sounds very good, guys, and thank you very much for joining me today to tell people a bit more about what it's all about. And we'll look forward to seeing future group work programmes and bite size in the future.
Well, thanks for having us.